What is fair market value and who determines it? Well, the seller sets the asking price of a house, but that's not fair market value, as that has not been tested on the open market. What about the appraiser? Well, outside of a real estate transaction, such as in a court setting, the appraiser is utilized to establish fair market value, but it is different with a real estate transaction. In this case, the appraiser's role is to affirm the contract price, the previously agreed upon contract price of a property as fair market value. So it is not the seller and it is not the appraiser. Who determines it? Well, the buyer establishes fair market value for a property. And what does this look like in a seller's market? Well, it is not uncommon in a seller's market for a property to get multiple offers, and the final sales price may be above the original asking price of the property. But does this mean that fair market value is whatever a buyer is willing to pay, no matter how ridiculously high that offer may end up being? Well, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because some experts say yes, fair market value is whatever a buyer is willing to pay at that time. I disagree to a certain extent. I believe that just like with a valid scientific experiment, establishing fair market value needs to be a repeatable event for that property. Let's take an example where there's a California buyer coming into Colorado, and California prices are much higher than Colorado's. And that California buyer, in the past, maybe he would offer $200,000 over asking price just to make sure that he got that he didn't lose this house. And $200,000 to him from California prices is still a bargain. It's nothing to him. Well, absent this buyer, this property would never sell for that price. So I would say that that is not fair market value, and an appraisal will come in much lower than that contract price in trying to establish what the appraiser thinks the fair market value would be for that property. So what does it look like today? In a market that is a seller's market, but maybe not to the extent that we had during COVID. Well, we are still seeing overpriced homes sitting on the market and not selling. But the homes that are priced well are going to sell within a week or two. And for those special homes, either they're priced aggressively low, or maybe they have a desirable feature that others don't have, mountain views, open space views, or maybe their condition is just that much nicer than the competition. These houses are getting multiple offers, and their final sales price is elevated above the asking price. I think what we will end up seeing this spring is that for those cases where the contract price goes above asking, we're going to see that in that 2 to 5% range. In unique situations where maybe a house is really priced low, or if the market really picks up heat, we might see that getting up to 10% over asking price, but we're not there right now. Bottom line for this video is this. If you are a seller, I feel that it is in your best interest to price at fair market value, or maybe even a little bit low, to get multiple offers and bringing that final sales price even above your asking price. If you are a buyer, just understand that the asking price is not the fair market value. It is not the value of the property. And you may decide that the fair market value is below asking price, or you may decide that it is above that asking price. In either case, I hope this has been helpful for you. Thanks so much for your time.